Liberal, sweet and salty. Loyalty. Liberal, loyal. And I know you wanna me. Unload those fucking balls on my face. Let me taste your loyalty. Cause it's sweet and salty. Your ass is sweet and salty. Liberal, sweet and salty. I gotta get that loyalty.
We back. Woo! The sultry sounds of Ethan Ralph.
Taste my loyalty, bitch. Anyway, so
what a classic. By the way, remember I used to play that always on break for like a year.
Always, it was the only track you fucking would play, buddy.
People
but
fucking malding.
When last we left Ralph, he had managed to interact with human beings for a grand total of 2 minutes before he completely crashed out, lost his mind, got kicked out, threatened to stab people, was cutting a promo in front of a McDonald's like a bomb, and then just like went and disappeared after promising all this content with Scarlett. Well, the content did finally arrive. The dirty motel madness from hell.
This is the grossest stream, by the way.
This is the grimiest, low down grease you could imagine, folks.
Right.
So you're going to have a quick look here in the Ralph folder. First of all, we have this by Ralph after he woke up. Now, Ralph always says, 5-star days, bitch. But this time he went nothing but 5-star days, bitch. So I guess we'll give Ralph his first in the afternoon when he woke up. 36 views, 100,000 Twitter account, by the way. Okay, so here we have this greasy, dirty. So Ralph is actually trying to celebrate this as some sort of a W. This image of him with Lalo. Now, Lalo is a certified Mexican midget, right? Who wears lifts in his shoes. Like, in fact, if you look at Lalo's shoe there, you can see it's a comical clown shoe that has like 6 inches in the heel. Okay. Now, but you see he's taken off his clown shoe, right? But Ralph is still wearing his Crocs, giving Ralph an extra inch there.
Well, look at Lalo,
Lalo has bent his knees to submit to Ralph's height mog. But it's not really working because he's the exact same height, if not taller than Ralph, even when he's crouching. Ralph's wearing shoes and he's not. And Ralph has a hat on.
He's like,
Ralph's got a hat on that's adding like an extra like 4 inches on the top of his head.
Because it's like this. It's like not like one of those like put on.
In his mind, that hat is how tall he is, but it's actually not. If he took that hat off, he'd be the exact same height. Like, but we're debating like the difference between like 5'1", 5'2", 5'1". At the end of the day, you're still a certified manlet. You're super tiny, got completely frame mogged by Ben, and you're just coping out of your mind. So anyway, that was his big W from the week, by the way, which is like.
So we're in the motel. And now I thought this was a bust for a few minutes. So the first 2 minutes, you'll see this edit, you're like, and then it just falls off the rails. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Thank you, Chad, for being here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I love how you has to be like, Chad, I'm a loser, and I know there's no point in even showing up. So I want to thank the few of you that did bother to show up for my sad crackhead motel stream. Thanks, guys. So pathetic having to grovel to the chat like that.
Right.
Tough.
Things didn't... I had plans to do all these streams, and it just never seems to work out that way.
Well, because you're drunk and on drugs, and you're a BPD unstable nutcase, Ralph. Is why it never fucking works. It just seems to not work out. Well, if you weren't a lazy drug addict, alcoholic, then maybe you would be able to turn on a live stream, bud. Like, we're not asking you to build a house or something. We're not asking you to even put the fries in the bag. We're asking you to turn on a webcam while you're drunk and doing drugs and holler instead of doing it off camera. Because the reality is he's always drunk doing drugs and hollering. It's just he chooses for whatever reason to not turn on a camera and make dozens of dollars. So
maybe 100.
I blame myself. And if you notice at the end,
well, you
I
should.
shook hands with everybody,
By the way, who else's fault could it possibly be? Well, this is like some big moment of growth or mature. I blame myself. Obviously, it's no one else's fault that you're too lazy to turn on a webcam. Oh man,
it's no big deal. What was it? I think Ben even said this. He's from the South. You know, an hour later, we could be fighting now. An hour later, it could all be cool. Gabe Hoffman.
Okay,
well, that's
an hour later,
like
when Ralph left, Ben sat there making fun of Ralph for like an hour.
Yes.
Like, it was not cool. They all laughed at you for being in front of McDonald's.
They're all going to laugh at you, Ralph.
Guys, this intensifies, so stick around. Here we go.
Nazi as well the other day. I said that would be news to the real neo-Nazis.
God.
Breaking news to the actual neo-Nazis that I have joined. I don't think anybody who watches this show has been a part of this scene thinks of me that way.
This chat's not moving.
People trying to diss me because Scarlett had described me as a disaffected leftist. I mean, that's actually true. I mean,
okay, because he did vote for Obama twice, you know, and he has a fetish for black women, and he married an Indian woman, and he also married a lolicon.
It's true.
That's true. Like, what?
L for leftist.
Ben ain't as intimidating. Very fucking tall.
Bro, you were pissing yourself.
He's admitting to being intimidated by Ben. You know, that's a tough place for Ralph. Yeah, I was intimidated. Yeah, I was.
He was
so
tall.
what? It was tall. Yeah.
Ralph is about to say some of the craziest shit right now. Watch this.
But I don't know if you've ever seen one of these kicks where it kicks down to the side of the knee.
What?
Ralph. If you did that to Ben would snap you in half with his index finger.
Is he actually okay? Like, first of all, he knows how... No, he doesn't. A kick like that is so difficult to execute. Like, you actually have to be a trained fighter to actually take out someone's knee. And in fact, in UFC, I've only ever seen one guy do that. It was Khalil Roundtree. Actually, John Jones tries to do it. But does anybody else know the knockout I'm talking about where he actually just completely destroyed Buddy's knee?
No.
It was sick. But Ralph, like, you're not going to do that. If he tried to do that, Ralph would blow out his own knee. Ralph has a knee brace on.
Yeah.
This isn't happening. Like, this is a fantasy that he's like some kung fu karate man that's going to bust out a sick kick, bro. Like,
John Wick, right?
I was thinking I might... It was close, but Ben was chill, and I was like, all right.
Internet loser for 25 stars!
Big support. Thank you, Internet loser. Big support, man. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you.
And I said, you want to get arrested? Because we're all going to go to jail if the police come. And so...
Well, yeah,
don't understand the Ralpha male mode. They don't know people.
They don't know the Ralpha male mode. You mean the BPD?
We saw Dan feed you your own teeth and bloody you, mongoloid. We've seen you get stomped out in Portugal twice. We've seen Riley and Mint Salad beat your ass. Like, we've actually seen a woman beat your ass. Okay? Like, we've seen it. You can't fight. You have no idea what you're doing. And you don't even have the size to do anything either. Like, he can't even gunt people anymore. Like, he's just this little diminutive, sad old man that would get knocked over by someone breathing on him too difficult, you know? Like, holy
get into that mode, right? Now, Ben acts like he has that mode. I really have that mode where I don't give a fuck.
Ralph.
Yeah, well, Ben
is actually a psychotic, violent criminal that I've watched kick his own daughter on camera. Like, Ben's been to prison, I'm pretty sure, for like violent offenses. I don't know that.
Ben doesn't have that mode.
Like, I'm sorry, like, Ben is actually a psychopath that would slime you out, bro. Like,
and Ben had a lot of restraint. If Ben, an actual criminal who's been to jail, has more restraint than you, Ralph.
Well, like, Ralph did go to jail for failing to hit a female cop. So for those of you who don't know what happened, Ralph got blackout drunk and passed out on the couch in a hotel lobby. They called the cops. A female officer came and shook Ralph and told him to get up and go to his room. Ralph stood up, was like, "You bitch," tried to take a swing and literally fell over like a cartoon character on the ground. To which the female cop then put a knee in his spine, put his hands behind his back, cuffed him, and then dog walked him to the cruiser. And then they took his height at the holding facility, and he was 5'1". That's where the 5'1" comes from, because his mugshot, his police record, indicates that he's 5'1".
He is.
So
I think he's 5'2". To be real, like, if I'm gonna actually try to.
And it's unfortunate. It's not something to brag about. It's kind of a flaw, to be honest. But does that look like 5'1" to you? So anyway, and
yes, it does.
You can't see his boots.
Like, this is literally like doing a measuring contest against a midget and being like, "Does it look like I'm short, bitch? Look, I'm taller than Mini-Me. Yeah, I'm taller than Vern Troyer. What do you think about that, bitch? I'm actually, as a matter of fact, the world's tallest midget. Yeah, if you want to know the truth about it."
Lalo is, I think, 5'3", but he's bending his knees there.
Lalo is legitimately 4'6". Ralph here is 4'8" at best.
Point. And Grace intentionally doesn't show. I was right in his face like this. I mean, like this, right in his face. And
no one's scared of you. No one's scared of you.
Oh my God!
You're an old,
Ralph.
fragile man with a broken knee.
Yes.
Who should? So,
by the way, even if you did intimidate Lalo, it's Lalo.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh man.
Whoa. Ooh.
They were angling
Shout out
for
Lalo.
You know, the Ralph A-Log audience, and to try to make a spectacle.
I'm gonna be real. There's not really many left in the Ralph A-Logging audience.
It's us.
We press out, pay our respects for the fallen comrades who got too bored with Piggy's antics to still be here with us today. I guess we also, pay our respects to the brave two people, Raphael Mania, and I'm sure someone else still makes fun of him somewhere. But there's nothing there. That's why they didn't even want you there. A cog, yeah.
You saw when she had her on my gun, I grabbed my dick and she fucking
the camera on his gun, and he pulled out his.
He wanted to pull out his dick.
Ralph, just think about the sentence that you uttered. There was a camera on my gun, and then I almost pulled out my dick. I wanted to pull out my dick. These are not winning sentences. These are not. This is not the flex you're looking for. You're admitting to being morbidly obese with a gun, like a flesh pocket pouch, and that you want to pull out your for some reason, but you didn't because you're a cock. Okay.
So, because I knew what she was doing. She was like focusing the camera at my gun. I grabbed
by the way,
fucking dick.
So Ralph says that he knew they were planning to A-log him and troll him because he had seen them insulting him right before he arrived.
By the way,
so he went there to be the clown.
No, but the move to win is to like helicopter your micro but he didn't even have the balls to do it. At least Surfer would actually whip it out and helicopter it. Ralph just couldn't be a real man and whip it out. What a loser. Because he's ashamed of his...
Well, it's very small. Let's be real.
It is. You couldn't even see it if he even pulled it out. He's like, I'm going to get your channel taken down for TOS now. And they're like, Ralph, what are you even talking about? He's like, don't you see it? No, what are you talking about? Like, it's not going to get taken down. It's like a Ken doll. You know, it's just like a patch of flesh. You know, it's smooth.
Like, yeah, because I knew
like
what
the USS Callister episode.
And maybe some of you would say, well, you shouldn't have went. That's probably true, but...
What an L, bro! Liz,
$3, why do you sound so out of breath?
That's probably it.
Is the lung cancer picking up speed?
I think so.
Oh, no.
Seriously.
Buddy.
Oh, buddy, he has to take this abuse from the hunchback of Gunter Dom for $3 so he can pay his $300 Mexican rent. You know, like this man's life. Like, this is so humiliating, bro. Like,
$3.
Man,
I think so.
is it really worth staying alive?
You see me standing up straight.
Suffering more?
listen, I can stand up straight, bish. What do you think about that? I can actually stand up straight if I want to. Now look, yeah, I have a hunchback. Yeah, I look deformed, but I can stand up straight. It's like when him and like Jim are having a battle over who can like touch their face and shit. It's like, what's this? Like when they're all geriatrics in the nursing home. Oh yeah, bish. Well, my dentures are really good. Yours are. Listen, I can still... Listen, I only need one nurse to assist me when I use the restroom. I don't need two nurses to assist me, bish. Like,
he's yelling. He's yelling that he can stand up straight. This is what the fuck are we doing here, guys?
Oh my god,
this is the
man.
W. The
Like,
W's are really easy in the sector now, right?
This is the lowest bar for victory in the world. Oh yeah? Well, I'm still alive? Yeah? Now I might be in unimaginable pain and poverty every day, but I'm still here. Yeah? That's seriously what he'll say.
That's so
like, okay.
funny.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Your retard viewers again.
It's definitely worth it. Yeah, no, it's more worth staying alive. Yeah, thank you.
Hunchback of Gunter
Thank
Dam.
you.
Okay, here we go. Another 3. Here we go.
He's haunted by the hunchback.
Here's
of
$3.
Gunter
You can
Dom.
afford a flight.
Here's $3, you fucking filthy animal, you fucking bum.
Enjoy
Just getting
hobbling
help.
through O'Hare with a
Oh,
broken knee. You bum.
no!
Whoever this guy is, I love him. This is so funny.
$3 here is $3. You can afford a flight back to Mexico where Scar hasn't tipped off the cops to find you. Enjoy hobbling through O'Hare with a broken knee, you bum.
He left the whole thing playing, by the way. He's like, no. He paid $3. We gotta listen to the whole thing. Like, okay, buddy, what the fuck?
No, that's really important. He deserves his airtime.
I know
A
it's
song
mean.
sang
She's so mean.
$10.
They
A
hate
song
me.
about who.
Well,
the
not
man
everybody.
is,
He goes,
who-
they hate me. I mean, not everyone. No, everybody does hate you. Everybody who's there hates you, even Dale. Honestly, like, yeah, they hate me. Yeah, I guess so. Well,
They hate me.
who to say no to, and that's the man.
Scarlett's here with me, so
She didn't run away this time. Well, little did he know, 2 hours later, she would post a 7-second live stream of her going, ah! and then screaming. And then he vanished for 2 days, and then he wrote back. He wrote, I'm back in Mexico. Whoa.
done anything to anybody. I guess you didn't see that coming, huh? But thank you for the
No, we did. Everyone saw it coming.
$3.
Be real. Ralph and his arcs are the most predictable thing you could possibly imagine. And in fact, the exact same thing happens every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph and Scarlett have a big domestic blow up. They start fighting with each other, don't want anything to do with each other. Then they make up. Then he flies back out there. Then they do drugs. They have a big blow up in the motel. The cops get called. Then Ralph flees to Mexico. I think this has happened about 3 or 4 times now, at least.
Yeah, we're on at least a trilogy. We're on the trilogy.
You know, it's getting to the point now where it's just kind of boring. You know, where it's like the same every time. But
get it,
like,
Ralph.
there's enjoyable moments, you know, for sure. But
Exactly.
When is it not complicated with my life? But
man, that's a tough statement. He swallowed hard there too, eh? Well, when is it? By the way, Ralph, like, life doesn't have to be as hard as you make it, bro. It really doesn't. Like, he just chooses to make the worst decisions every single time. Every time.
Oh. Ooh, I just saw someone tweeting about Phil losing all and wage quitting. It's over.
very well.
Oh my God, Phil.
What all has been said and what's happened
Scar's
and
laughing
all that
at him
stuff, and
again.
what hasn't happened?
Emasculated.
This is amazing. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
What's happened and all that stuff and what hasn't happened too. I'm aware of that as well. But
What?
dude, I'm about.
He's breathing
I thought
heavy.
you wanted to take a shower. Now just
What?
go ahead, keep doing.
So she's laughing while he's like pouring his heart out, and he goes,
Yeah.
"I'm about to like hit you or something," is what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Now he's about to see it's really bad here. Watch this.
Is he gonna cry?
No, he will. He will cry. Watch. First of all, can we?
Buddy, can you comb your hair? What's left of it anyway? Like, look at that, man. It's the recession, like, of that hairline is quite
Bro,
shocking.
this is a Lynchian. Oh my god!
It really is. He looks freaky, bro.
That sticker.
Oh, yeah, he said it looks like he got electrocuted. It's like, he looks-
Fucking,
fuck.
what's that?
Oh, man.
Is it eraser hat is what I was thinking.
Take out a Hannah Claire. Hannah Claire's
Yeah,
done.
had a Claire.
She's never coming back. We're gonna have to start removing Hannah and repopulating with Ralph stickers. The circle of life.
Yo,
and it
no,
hurts
guys,
the soul.
Is this the image of Ralph, not the
Look at him. He looks like he doesn't even have an eye. He's the Gunclops. He's the one-eyed Gunclops of felt, buddy. Holy
Hang on, is there any super chats? Let me read.
Oh, there was a bunch that came. We got Eels Up Inside You says, I'm setting a common theme with these lol cows, tiny. Using this logic, we can all call that Jer also has a tiny. We've got your boy Michael says Jer is team low road. We got Jeremy's sad liver for 1,000 kicks. I'm waiting for him to change his coffee company name to Jesus Brand Coffee. Really lean into the Christian grift. Scrub a 7 for a sub. The quartering gay black dad says the pollution of data center is worth it if we get a parody of Stan with Jeremy and Melanie. DSP Historical Society shirt for 5 subs. We got Aided Clock 20 says it has to be the first half of Stan and Melanie's response be a Cash App response for 500. That's smart.
Wait. Let me
Quartering search history says I'm in tears. Y'all are too funny. Fubard for 5.
No way.
Inzane says maybe he should give up the coffee and sell
Ash.
wine instead. Amphetamine enjoyer with a sub. Yeah, what's up?
Kick updated it so you don't have to resize it on Photoshop. You can just drag the image in.
Let's go! Eddie's listening!
Let's go.
Woo!
Thanks, Eddie. I think he sees how much we
Big
changed
support.
stickers.
Let's go.
It's called Ralph Monster. I was like, wait, what the up and I just uploaded it and it worked. It's called Ralph Monster. Hell yeah. All right, that was a very hype. That saves me a lot of time. Okay, here we go. You ready? Oh, yeah. Sorry, he's ready. DSP, sure, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Look at all these new followers. Holy wow, guys. Welcome. Guys, if you're a new follower here, we promise this segment will be probably more disgusting than our usual segment. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it is grimy as we're going to lose a ton of viewers, but we love this. It's Kino.
It's Kino. It's 5 hours in.
This is for the sickos, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So. Oh my God, his hair is so cooked. He looks like a baby. Simultaneously, he looks like an elderly man and a baby at the same time, doesn't he? Like
he does.
Like he looked with his eyes there like a little baby. Like he was so questioning and scared. You got Adam Carolla for 5 subs.
Let's go.
And Fire in the Sky says, thank you for making me cry from laughing.
Oh, man. I'm glad. I was crying from laughing earlier, too.
Thanks, Respector sent $10 ever make deserts in jail. Also, pool tape incoming? LFG.
Hey, Bunk, it's Memorial Day, man. Let's make a
Oreo
cheesecake.
Desserts, bro. Yeah. I did, yes.
Jail, not dessert.
Rio. I got you. All right, for sure.
What's happening?
Yeah, what is happening?
I don't know. I forgot. Look at this.
Down the hall, snow.
Okay, Ash, this is disgusting.
Every single. All right.
Ash.
It's fine. You're fine. You'll be fine.
Oh my God, she's so. Look at him there, man.
There she is. Just to prove I didn't.
My precious bitch.
Going in the background. It's supposed to be a little bit more of a surprise, but that's okay.
By
the way,
I'm not always based. I'm kind of.
Well, what I want to say is,
I'm female. You kind of sometimes.
Let me just. Yes, we were talking about that. Let me say.
She's manhandling.
She licks him in the ear, bro.
You got no wet.
Look at this. Oh,
let me say.
Tongue punching his ear hole.
That's disgusting.
His greasy old fucking ear. Oh, man.
Such a low level.
I have no ill will towards anybody that I've seen this week, except the Thorpes.
Even he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Did you see the way he was looking over? He said, what are you doing? I don't like this. Look at him here. He's like, this is fucked. Get away from me, bitch. What do you think you're doing?
This is actually fucking crazy.
I've seen this weekend, except the Thorpes.
He goes, I have no ill will with anyone that I saw this weekend, except the Thorpes.
I mean, except the people I did see this week. You did, yeah, those are all the people you saw. You idiot.
Let me get back.
Anonymous sent $10. You told us to get our cocks out. Where's the chatterbait goal?
She will.
Oh, she will.
She will swallow this
Scarlett?
banana.
Y'all didn't hit me,
I'm gonna swallow a banana.
Out.
It comes
Where's
in
the
denim.
chatterbait goal? How much Scarlett?
Y'all didn't hit me,
Bill's
though.
fired
Over
up.
to the camera. We love Scarlett.
Boy, you hear? He hit her there. You hear it? Watch. Listen.
Much Scarlett.
Y'all didn't
How
hit
much
the
to
goal.
come over to the camera?
Listen.
We love Scarlett.
He hit her in the stomach. No, hear that?
Y'all didn't
How
hit the
much to come
goal.
over to the camera? We love Scarlett.
Yeah, that was fucked.
That was like in the stomach. That was like, oh, like
Yeah.
you know when you're hitting the stomach.
Yeah.
Oh.
If we had to go, she'll deep throw a banana. Look, so.
Anonymous sent $10. You told us to get our cocks out.
Nah, I did.
Where is the chatterbait goal? How much, Scarlett? How much to come over to the camera? We love Scarlett.
It's Ralph did scam everybody. Listen, there's gonna be a chatterbait goal, bitch. No, there wasn't. Like Ralph was never gonna do this. It's always a scam. Always. But Dale always opens his wallet to get scammed again to see Ralph's.
Dale will say some crazy shit on this chat.
Oh, I'm sure he will. He's Dale's in the head for sure.
Okay, that's her favorite song, so I'll wait till she comes back out for that. If that's okay. That's Or I can play it still.
It's
but
do a line. It's about cocaine and Scarlett and him doing coke.
Said $10, though.
Skip
Here you go.
5 songs, but
Here is what it was saying.
Honestly, my kids, if they watch this one day, nigga, I love you. I'll pull up on Skype.
What?
Remember, it was the audio.
What
I'm going,
the fuck?
if my kids watch this one day, your mom chose this. You chose this. If you don't want to see me, I don't give a f. That's on you, remember? And then he goes here, I don't care, I'll say it. And then he never plays it. He never plays or says it.
Buddy,
I'm not ashamed of
holy
what I
shit.
said. To eat a dick and die. That'd be pretty
Oh.
Harry Morris.
But I'm not going to respond to anything attached to Harry Morris. Except I will say, I hope he dies as soon as possible.
I won't say anything other than wishing for his horrible, painful death, bitch. Look at his neck gun, buddy. Look at his sagging turkey jowls.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. It looks like a... Yeah, he's a bald chinian.
Yeah, from
Look at that. There's a
Men in Black 2, right?
Yeah, there's a ball sack hanging from his neck, or like a cow's udders, perhaps.
Yo,
you see the 2 little udders?
Of course.
The 2 little balls? This is crazy, Ralph.
That looks monstrous.
Yeah, the neck.
Hey, I'll pay for the divorce.
Gobble, gobble.
Yeah.
I'll pay for your divorce.
She said she'll pay for the divorce.
Hey, Mary Morris, because you're trying to marry yourself to a man that actually wants to move on with his life and actually do well. And you
That's right. Harry is married to Ralph. For sure. Yeah. Scars?
She's such a demented bitch, man.
Fucking sins. Just because he's not a Jew. He's not a Jew, and he's not taking money from the Jews like you.
Harry Morris is taking money from the Jews?
Where? What does Harry Morris work for
like,
Israel?
this is the most delusional that, like, everybody who is, like, against Ralph is on the payroll of Israel. Like, I'm gonna be real. The only Jew who even knows of Ralph's existence is Gabe Hoffman. You know, like, this is like nobody in Israel knows who Ralph is because nobody, period, knows who Ralph is. He's an irrelevant nobody, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Harry Morris is a scumbag.
He follows me, the little cunt.
Yeah, I know he follows you. So do you follow him.
Yeah, I mean, you've been following him, you snake. Well, you know, like, he's so defeated when he says, like, you can tell, like, he's just seething, bro.
I could not figure out why. Why does he have Santa on the picture, on the video there?
Yeah, why?
I honestly don't even know. I watched the whole 5.5 hours.
It's a long way from Christmas, man. How do you think Ralph's gonna handle Christmas this year?
Oh, will he make
man, it was a rough Christmas last year for Ralphie, man. I don't even know if he's making it through this Christmas, but that's the thing is I'm gonna be like, ooh, my $1,000 is ready, Andy. Ralph's gonna make it to the new year.
I will send it to you ASAP.
But then it's gonna be Ralph just ends it all on Christmas Eve, and I'm felted. But this thing is, if we don't find out he's dead until like later in the new year, like, are we gonna get an autopsy to determine time of death? Like,
no, if he dies and we don't hear about it between December 27th and January 2nd, it's even.
Yeah.
Neither of us win.
What if he dies on New Year's Eve? Like, he dies right at, like, before the of midnight. Like, imagine he dies at like 11:58 on a New Year's Eve stream.
I gotta pay you, I guess. Or no,
I don't know, because it's like, but it's
me.
like, when would he be declared clinically dead? Because like he may like out and like fall to the floor.
Okay, how about
but
this?
he might still be alive, like
one
clinging
amendment
to life for a few more minutes.
One amendment to our bet. If he dies between 11:50 and 12:05, no one wins. It's got to be 11 minutes before.
What if he's a vegetable? What then? Is he actually, he's in like a hospital as a vegetable? And he like goes and unplugs him.
I'm running. Oh.
Camera like I do.
He's mad because Alice sucked my dick.
It's like, well, okay, I'm not even saying what I was going to say. That's crazy. I was about to say. I had a really bad joke. Really bad one.
He's mad because Alice sucked my dick.
Ralph's gonna suck his own. No. He's mad because I can suck my own dick.
No,
bitch.
Alice. He's admitting to the accusation.
Camera like I do.
Okay.
He's mad because Alice sucked my dick. He's mad about all that.
I'll set your dick under the table right now. $10.
Well,
$10? That's such a cheap price. $10. Oh, sucky, $10. $10. Inflation since Full Metal Jacket. Sucky, $5. No good no more. $10 minimum.
And by the way, I like how Ralph has to still pay her to suck his and their boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay, Ben. I'll get to that in a minute.
What is this? Are you happy with the decisions you made again, Big? You happy you ditched your
I love how he
bastard
thinks
son?
this is actually Ben also. You know, he's a you, Ben! You piece of shit!
Ben Thorpe 6'7".
Whoa!
Your dick under the table right now. $10.
Well, okay, Ben. I'll get to that in a minute.
I love how Ralph just ignores the blowjob. He doesn't even want her disgusting blowhole anywhere near his micro. Holy shit. Imagine she just bites off his little micro right then and there. She should just fucking do it.
Please.
You're a gay bitch, Ben.
Can I talk?
You're gay! He's having to beg! He's like, please, can I talk? Please, mistress, please, Mama Scarlett, let me talk. Oh, he's having to beg on his knees or talk on his own show. She's calling him gay. Well, because she's literally like, I'll suck your d- right now for $10. He's like, please, I have to own one of my internet enemies. There's no time to get my... A man pretending to be Ben Thorpe donated $3 to say I'm a... So I need to respond. Please stop. Listen, she would stop talking if she was your idiot. You could have killed two birds with one stone. Like... But maybe she could talk with that micro in there. Maybe she's like a cocktriloquist. She's like, Ralphie, you're gay. I've got your full little in my mouth and I can still talk on stream. You're I don't know.
Did you just think of that, or did you hear about that? Did you hear that?
No,
That's
I just
amazing.
came up with that.
It's genius. Holy shit.
He's a scumbag, and I really don't.
Cocktriloquist is amazing, bro.
Yeah.
That's like genius.
I've already disassociated from that.
He's already disassociated. What a statement. I've already disassociated, bitch. My mind is all up. I'm in a happy place with Sandra at Christmas, bitch. That's what he has the picture of Santa up for. Like, he's like, think of happy thoughts at Christmas when I got Super Nintendo.
I wish I was in cognitive decline.
Yeah, I wish I was demented, actually, because my life is suffering. And I wish I didn't have to deal with the pain, bitch.
Oh.
Whatever he thinks he can do, go ahead and do it.
My back's hurting from laughing so hard, dude. Oh my, I pulled something.
Fuck.
Go ahead and do it.
It's too bad he is so cut for his daughter.
Yeah, he's cut for his daughter because I think he...
Oh no, he loves his daughter. You're a cuck for your daughter because you're protecting her from a domestic abuser who beat her ass for not cleaning up piss bottles and paid a Mexican gigolo to f her up the ass without a condom, bitch. What? Yeah, he loves his daughter. What a cock, bitch. What? Cuckoo.
Can molest his daughter, actually.
If you want to know the truth about it, he actually molested his daughter.
I'm gonna die.
Which isn't even the story. It was supposedly a friend of the family or the uncle or something molested her, and then Harry didn't take her to the hospital to get the kit because he was covering. That was the story. It's not that he molested her, but who knows if any of that's even true anyway. Who cares?
That's what I think.
You know, my dad doesn't give a f who I date, and he never did.
Yeah, so my dad's a piece of shit, and he doesn't care I'm a star. Yeah.
And now you're with Ralph, bitch. Like, you fucking...
I'm white trash, and I'm in trouble. Yee-haw!
What a great dad.
Wow, it's turning out
that,
great.
right? My dad
Even
is
Ralph's
a real
like-
fucking dad. And you know what? My dad has never told me not to date Ethan. So, whatever.
Well, he did, though, actually.
He literally called and was like,
yes.
please, don't do this.
In fact, there's total proof that he did, but okay,
I'm pretty sure it was like leaked as a audio recording.
Yes, yes, it was.
I was raised by better parents.
What?
She was by a better than Ralph,
So,
is that?
Whatever. Maybe I was raised by better parents.
Wait, she said...
Yeah, she said she was by a better than Ralph. Like,
I think she said parents. But she goes, I was by better parents.
well, wait, so she's saying that her dad molested her? But
I
like,
think so.
I think she, I don't know. I think she tried to say I was raised by better parents,
But
but instead said I was by better pimps. Let's bring it back. Let's listen to that again. What did she actually say? Let's
Whatever. Maybe I was raised by better parents.
Okay, she definitely said I was by better parents. Which that's like one of the strangest flexes of all time. Yeah, I was molested, but you know, I was molested by a better class of. Really? I was winded down by my. If you really want to know the truth about it, my bought me Red Lobster fish. Your ain't worth. What? What are we dealing with here?
Even Ralph's face is like, oh my
Ralph's
god.
like, what the fuck?
Oh, this is nothing yet, by the way. This is like nothing.
Supreme Court.
This is an automated reminder from the image.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking
There's nothing wrong
about.
with
Listen
courts.
to me.
Should I
Shit.
become a lawyer?
Listen, shh.
Okay.
I defeated Vickers clearly.
Did you?
And handily in a defamation lawsuit that he filed.
If somebody lights themselves on fire, did you really like? You know what I mean? Like, okay. Sure, I'll give it to you. You know what? I'll give it to you, Ralph. You won. You beat Mr. Vickers. What a glorious W, sire. Woo-hoo-hoo. Cling to that dusty old W.
There's like 90% of our audience is like Vickers. What's a Vickers?
None of these people know what's happening. The view count's just plummeting. Like,
listen, it's almost 2 in the morning. Everyone's like, this is usual.
Oh,
Come on.
fuck.
This is for the real ends. This is for the real ends.
Listen, shut up.
Now, guys, you said you wanted the Ralph segment. You said you were tired of the Jer slop. You said you didn't want 6 hours of Jer slop. What happened? Where's the support for the Ralph segment?
Oh.
No offense, but be quiet for a second. Shut up. No offense.
Vickers is jerking off to him.
Scarlett porn.
No offense.
He probably jerks off.
No offense, but be quiet for a
Did you
second.
jerk off for my porn, Vickers?
What I'm saying is, me and my legal team who work pro bono.
His legal team who works for free, so he means ChatGPT. Yeah, so I'm actually too poor to afford my lawyers. They'll work for free. They're pro bono. I bone their ass, if you know what I mean, bish. Okay.
Pro boner, bitch.
Yeah, they're pro Ralph's boner, which is a hard thing to be because you can't get it up, you know. So I don't know how it's gonna work.
Destroyed him, and he's
my
listen.
legal team.
No, it's not.
Yo, he goes, it's my legal team.
Listen, it's not your turn to talk. I'm holding the talking stick, bitch. You see this? This is the talking stick. Listen, you'll get your turn. He's going to have to institute talking stick, you know? Holy He ought to put a shock collar on this. And every time she talks, just zap her. That's the only solution. That's what I would do at this point.
Your legal team. It's mine.
Mine too.
No, it's not. It's mine.
Sam Benthorpe, shut the fuck out.
No, it's mine.
You're right, Miss Goldie. She wouldn't even talk. The thing is, she wouldn't stop talking, and not only that, she would talk more because she would enjoy getting abused by the shock collar. That's how twisted. This is the twistedness of the individual we're dealing with.
Start barking, you know?
There's just nobody else's. Anyway,
they can call you names, they can call me names, and that's not okay.
Bro.
He's at the edge of breaking down completely. Ralph, did you break a One Wish Willow recently? It mentions Scarlett and Eddie.
It's like
I love that this is his life now, bro. But the title of this stream is actually very apropos. Now, at first you go, this is a really cringe reference to Hunter S. Thompson, but Ralph has actually bought the ticket of being with this insane drug-addled star black toe, and now he's taking the ride. And the ride's not so good. This is a bad trip, bro. This is some bad shrooms, bro. This is nightmare.
Help me, God, please help me.
Frank Booth for 2,000 kicks says Kino content for the old heads. Let's go. Karnov 89 for 2,000 kicks. Ralph content is the best.
It's
content,
really funny.
bitch.
It's really funny.
Melanie MacBook Pro says the Ralph showed. Jay Caesar says, yeah, I am tired of the Jer Slaw. Us sector heads have been saying this for months. Well, the sector needs to step up. The sector needs to start producing some actual Kino. Like, holy
yeah.
We got cast in lead for a sub. Ice Mexican, how much to get you boys to drop the hard R? We're going to need at least 300 subs. Potate Jello for 5
We will not be saying the hard R.
Satanades, Jerusalem. Oh, no. We can find a way to scam them.
Oh,
we'll
true.
just go, R! And then he'll see. But I shouldn't have given the game away.
True.
You know, then we would have just, and like, no refunds, bish.
What if we just play an old video of us saying it? Would that be allowed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have.
We'll play me getting drunk at your house and screaming the N-word.
Yes. Pre-Dawn Corpse for 2 subs.
Let's go. All right.
Our relationship is causing me trouble. They're causing me problems.
I love that. Somehow he's the one causing her
he
trouble.
He is not okay with me. And no, I haven't actually. I'm not the one drinking, actually.
No, yeah, I can't. No, you are. But listen, I do want to.
No, I mean you are drinking and you're belligerent. I wish I was drunk, bish, but I'm not. But you are.
Look, Ralph is having a tough time, bro. Look at him.
Oh, man. Be careful what you wish for, Ralphie. You just might get it, buddy.
Monkey paw.
I wish I had a porn star girlfriend. Here you go. Here you go.
Your porn star girlfriend, sire.
Sober Delaney.
Just get away from me. Get away from me.
Okay, I'm not near you, though.
Okay. Yeah. Just go away. You're not.
I don't lay hands on you.
I'm the fucking.
You don't lay hands on me.
That's
how
right.
we work.
That's right.
People can't believe this.
What? Oh my God.
I'm the fucking.
You don't lay hands on
I put that there because she goes, don't lay hands on me. He's like, I don't lay hands on you.
me. That's how we work.
That's right.
People can't believe this, but that's actually how a relationship works.
I'm the host.
We have good. We have hot, and that's what we do. And then we fight a little bit in front of.
Look at
having a hard time.
When a girl goes, we're having hot, and then
And
this
your
is the face.
reaction is just like, it was not, in fact, hot. It was, in fact, miserable, terrible, if none at all.
When's the last time you had hot and this is where your reaction?
Was it worth it, Ralph? He's just like, God damn it.
So you guys can off and make some money.
The only reason I'm keeping this camera going right now is for like legal purposes. And
when you have to keep the camera rolling because you're sure that you're going to go to jail otherwise, that's a tough place to be with your girlfriend. Kino. The thinking man. You just super at 2000 cases. Why is Ralph 75 years old? Look at, he honestly looks like he's wearing like the old man mask, doesn't he? He kind of, you know what? He kind of looks like he's wearing the mask that Cog wore to pretend to be Ralph. And the real Ralph has actually become that.
It actually does.
For those of you who remember that, all six of you, that is fucking joked, you know? Like,
or
I
else
was
I would
gonna
already
take him
say
out on
no.
a date tonight. 'Cause I love
Yeah,
him.
great job.
No, hey, it's still the night.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
yeah.
My baby.
Oh, he's having a tough go. Oh, he's so miserable. This is so good. Suffer,
say-
piggy.
No.
Let's get some subs for Ralph suffering. Let's go.
I think he just said something crazy. Listen to this.
I'm just saying, no aggression or violence on my
Listen,
end.
when you have to plead with a woman, please, no aggression or violence, please. Help me. My girlfriend's being violently aggressive. Or is he talking to himself? He's
I think he's talking about
"Listen."
himself. Like, okay,
I think
no.
he is. No, he's like, okay, Ralph, listen. No violence, no aggression. You can do this. I mean, no, look, I can't do this. I'm going to beat this bitch. We got Predon Corpse for 2 subs. Gunter Taker for 2 subs. Star Crunch 7 with us. Let's go. Sub train. Choo choo. Free bird for Ralph. Let's go.
Let's fuck go, bros. Let's go.
I don't.
I know. Well,
thank you.
You just said you did, but you don't. Regardless, I don't care, bro. You're a person.
I would for you, but I
Who
don't.
cares? Like,
But if I had to, I would. Hey, how much do they want? Okay, well, whatever. Just leave us the alone. Our relationship, I have nothing to do with your past. I am your present, and I'm your future. So think about that, man.
What hell? Oh! She's your present. She's
Bro.
your future. Ralph is now enveloped in the darkness of his own horrid, miserable life at this moment. This is tough. I'm your present. I'm your future. He's like, please, God, help me. I'm in horrible pain. I want to beat this bitch's ass, God.
I know I burnt it out, and I always say it, but this is actually like obsession.
Yes.
Like this is like the perfect example because she wants Ralph, and he's just like, okay. I wanted this. It like literally is the actual movie, but in real life.
asked for this. We got DSP Historical Society shirt for 10 subs.
Let's
Zanzo
go.
Bar Nights for 5 subs.
Thank you.
Magikarp with
God
a sub.
damn.
Dark Vision, Ballin' Ball Nuts, Frank Booth. We got the Troll
Big-
Patrol says, I don't normally support domestic violence.
But
Whoa, buddy. Let's get that sub train going.
Let's go.
Let's keep it strong. Choo choo.
what I absolutely love about this image too is that Ralph and Santa are like the perfect juxtaposition of each other, like the mirror, like the like opposite 180 of like happy.
I mean, the only thing they actually have in common is that they both look really old and they both have really rosy cheeks. You know, and they're both, you know.
my god.
Vicar man.
So you are.
Whoa.
Future. So think about that, little vicar man. Little vicar knicker man.
So you already talked to him. Anyways.
Vicar knickers.
Shut up. Don't say that.
Shut up! Shut up! Don't say it! But you're on Rumble. Like, you say it all the time. Who gives a fuck?
Some underwear, bitch. So you can fucking suck your own cock and fucking jerk.
Don't say shit.
Suck your own cock?
Anonymous
Suck
sent
your own
$10
cock and fucking
Scarlett
jerk off
when once
instead
you
of
pay
pants.
for Well Supreme Court scan, it means in order to not die 10%.
Hello. This is
Why don't you eat a dick? Not you, Scarlett, but this person.
I'll eat your dick under the table
I know
right
that.
now.
You've ate already. Listen, just
Fuck
no.
him.
No.
I don't care.
Please, I've had enough blowjobs, please. Please, no more. That's a tough place to be where you're like, no, listen, I've had enough. You've been me dry for days. Please, stop. You demon whore from hell.
This is like Freddie Got Fingered, remember? Where Tom Green's girlfriend's like, I just want to your girl. And he's like, can we just have a date? We just go on a normal date?
Bro, I wish for unlimited.
Yes.
Here you go, Ralph.
She sucks his fucking dick right up.
Your unlimited blowjob. Please, my penis is so cheap. Please.
Nobody's yelling at anybody.
Fault.
Nobody's yelling.
Mama's fault all the time.
There's no yelling going on. I want to be clear.
I'm in love with him, and you guys can fuck off.
There's no.
Just bleeding. The lady, no.
I love him. He's like, please, guys. I swear it's
going on.
Okay.
This is what happens to X users that actually summon a succubus. Yeah, either this or they become iDubbbz, one or the other. I don't know which is worse, really.
I'm actually sober, so.
Okay.
No, the I love him does sound like a threat. Like, it really is the bitchin' obsession. Like, it's actually.
No, it actually
is
literally like obsession, like the movie.
Laughing.
This is worse than obsession because it's real. That's the only reason it's worse.
Well, according to JF, it was a documentary of how all women are. You know, that was the JF take.
Maybe he was right. I mean, look at this video.
Turns out I was right all along, Warsky.
Are you laughing?
Uh-oh.
What, do you think this is funny? What did I say that was so funny? Yeah, you think like he thinks he's in Goodfellas.
He's
you know?
a fucking.
What did I say that was so funny, huh? Yeah, think I'm a comedian? Yeah, really? My clown to you?
I can make sure you don't laugh if I pull out my fucking phone. No, are you laughing? I mean, I could make certain you're not laughing anymore. If you don't come over here.
Why must? Okay.
This guy's actually like the devil. He's disgusting.
Like, in all seriousness, like, they need to lock this fucker up. Like,
yeah, he actually.
For whatever
needs to.
reason, he actually thinks it's acceptable on camera to threaten people like this. You know, like, I just don't get it. You know,
he's actually fucking demented, bro.
Denounce what the fuck you just did. Okay. Oh, you think it's...
Ralph is actually the most guy in the world.
By the way, she still hasn't been seen after the stream. It's been days.
But it would be funny to see somebody get dragged the fuck up out of here. So...
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
But
yeah, he's gonna drag her the out of here.
So...
What if he actually needs a beat? Like...
Anyway, I just want to go back to Mexico. Whatever.
You are going back.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will go back one way or the other.
I helped you get away and get back and helped you...
I didn't do anything wrong in the first place. You didn't help me do shit. You didn't help me do shit. So... Anyway, do you have anything to say or no? Yes, no? Yes, no.
Behind you because you told me to come over here.
I don't care. Go sit over there.
I can't believe he hasn't ended the stream.
I'd rather.
Like, what's wrong? I didn't do anything.
Uh-oh. Ready, Ash?
No.
Thank you. That's total horseshit, but we should say that for off air probably.
No, it's fine. Whatever. I want to see.
I mean, you know it's not the case, but
The vibe has shifted completely.
okay.
Yeah, it's getting freaky now.
It's getting scary, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of tension. You can cut the tension with a knife, man.
This is actually fucking nuts.
I never swallowed shit, that's for sure.
You lick my ass though.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, here you go. You ate my ass, but like we're now looping.
You're gonna laugh.
We've spent months now arguing about who ate whose ass. Does it really matter who ate whose? Like, who cares? Is that you licked my ass? Yeah, you licked my